spotlight today. And yes, she's awesome. Kayla and I got to meet her in person just last month at the Lake House. And April is super into language. She's into Harry Potter, she's into fitness, and she's into other fandoms as well. And she's got a really fun podcast called Fandom Fit that she co-hosts as well. So I recommend checking that out. And she's our spotlight today. So welcome, April.
Hello, thank you for having me. This will be fun.
Yay, April.
And you came with your magic wand, all prepared.
Yep. Works really well as a hair. That works really well. Anyway.
So, April,
yeah.
What are some wins that you are celebrating?
I am really excited to be doing more presentations about language. I've done 2 in the last couple of weeks. They came together a little, well, the first one I did came together a little bit slowly, but that's okay. One of my friends from the gym that I coach at knows all about Procabulary and Mark England and Enlifted. And so we started talking and he's like, hey, why don't you come do a presentation all about language for my team at work. And he works for universities here in Minnesota. So I was like, absolutely, let's figure it out. So that was really exciting to do. I did a goal setting one recently. I've got two more in the works. So I'm really excited to be doing presentations. And that's one of the things that is firing me up a lot lately is the presentations, and then doing one-on-one story work sessions with people too. So I'm in research mode for that. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the research aspect of it?
It's so that's for the one-on-ones that I'm doing. I've been reaching out to friends and clients to do some more client interviews to learn how I've helped them and how I can continue to reach out to people to help more people. So that's what I mean by research mode for that.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting. And yeah. And you just had a presentation recently, right?
Yes. One of them was, what's today? Today, Monday? So I did a goal setting one on Saturday, and then the one before that was like a week and a half before that. So yeah, and then I have another one coming up in about 2 weeks. So it's actually the 3rd of December that I'll have my next one. So yeah.
For the people that don't necessarily know Procabulary, give us a little tiny snippet of what you teach.
Sure, yeah. So I talk about conflict language and archetype language, and how we are inadvertently, with conflict language, we may be inadvertently creating chaos and disempowerment and ambiguity and erratic performance within our own lives unknowingly with conflict language, right? And I go over also how to simple ways to shift it. I in these presentations, I give a 10,000-foot view of why the heck your language is important. And it's so funny to me too, because we all speak, whatever language you speak, there's plenty of people who can understand you, and there's still more to it. It's not just about understanding each other. It's about understanding how and the effect it has on ourselves and each other. And so I also go into what the reticular activating system is, and how that is, and how language is a filter on how we see the world. So so Procabulary is about what world are you creating for yourself, and are you doing it intentionally or not, right?
As
so
you
abracadabra.
So the next question is, you can take it 2 ways. You can either go, what is something unique about you, or what's a boring fact about you?
Yeah. The first thing that came to my mind with unique about me is that I do have and this is just unique about me because other people have Harry Potter tattoos. I also have a Harry Potter tattoo, and it is one of my favorites because it's a quote. The quote says, it's on my forearm here. The quote says, "Let us step out into the night and pursue that flighty, temptress adventure." That is directly from Dumbledore from book 6. I'm a big Harry, like as we've gone over already, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. And so I like that quote because it is a reminder for me that, speaking of language, right? Like how do I want to live my life? Adventurous, very adventurous. So for me, that is a mantra to remember to jump out of my comfort zone and have adventures and fun stuff like that. So I really like that quote and that tattoo for that reason. So again, I'm not the only one that has Harry Potter or like Wizarding World related tattoos, but that's something I'm really excited about.
April, that quote gave me chills when you read it.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. Will you say it one more time for me?
Yes. Let us step out into the night and pursue that flighty temptress adventure.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So what are, leading into that, your favorite things? We've talked Harry Potter. Are there?
My favorite things. Yes, Harry Potter's one of them. I like it for the magic of it. I like magic, imagined or real, and along with, we see a certain kind of like magic and shift as we've been doing story work, which, so speaking of favorite things, like that's one of the reasons that magic stands out to me and Harry Potter stands out to me. I'm a big fan of, Marvel, things like that too. I love to bake. I recently, within the last year or so, I figured out how to make eclairs, and they're just delicious. I've got a dog and a tortoise. Those are two of my favorite things. Another one of my favorite things is my husband. He's eating dinner right now.
Hi, husband.
He says hi. I also like moving weird. So one of my favorite things to do is explore and play around with movement, and that's one of the ways that I've shifted. Like I've always identified as an athlete, and that being said, my identity as an athlete has shifted quite a bit. No longer am I competing either with myself or with other people at all costs. I am shifting into what do I like to do things because I like it, and understand where where competition fits into that as myself as an athlete. So I recently got a mace coach who's been showing me some cool things, and so it's been fun to do mace. And when I'm not feeling mace, I like to have you guys heard of Animal Flow? Yeah, I like to play around with that sometimes too, because it's pretty much just like rolling around on the ground, which is fun. So those are some of my favorite things.
So April, before you started with Procabulary and Enlifted, what was your definition of magic then? Like from the Harry Potter world, how would you define magic then versus your definition of magic now?
Great question. Magic before I knew the power of language is what I'm getting from that question. And before it was unattainable, fun, imaginative story that I read as a kid. And I didn't know, all I knew is that J.K. Rowling had come up with this extensive world of Harry Potter and magic and casting spells and fighting bad guys and things like that. and it was very cool. And I reconnected that with my other my friend Kayla. I've got another friend Kayla in California, and so she and I reconnected to Harry Potter, and it was just a ton of fun to get nerdy about the story, and the magic in that sense was simply in our imaginations and having fun with the story itself. And it didn't ever expand out of what the Harry Potter story and the Harry Potter world was. So it was confined, I would say, confined to the story, which was fun. And now that I've been through, I'll add Strong Coach onto that as well. Strong Coach, Procabulary, and Lifted, levels 1 and 2. I see how and where magic can be created for real, like in our lives. You know, what does Mark say? The definition of spell is a word or combination of words that has a particular effect. Is that right? Or something close to that has a particular effect on us?
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And it's one of those things, once you realize it and what effect those words are having, it's like, it's magical because it can take you one way or the other.
So now there is no container. Like, there's nothing that's containing the magic. The magic is
Yeah, it's no longer confined to the Harry Potter world. It's you can create it. And I this is my wand. I said this on one of our level 2 calls. This is so silly and I love it. I'm 90% sure that like the Enlifted certifications are Hogwarts. I mean, we went to Hogwarts, and think of all the classes in Hogwarts, right? We've got charms, which is your basic spell casting, right? We learned spell casting, we learned what words we can use that will create an effect and have power over us, right? Transfiguration, right? That's story work. We take old stories that are holding us back or are like getting in our way to move forward, and no. Transfiguration is mindset. Shift our mindset. It could be either. Transfiguration is like transfiguring our old stories into new ones that serve us, or again, that mindset. Defense against the dark arts. I mean, same thing. Like, the dark arts are those detrimental stories, the things that we need to unlearn, the things that are causing disempowerment and ambiguity and old habits, old experiences, old traumas that could be affecting us. And so that's defense against dark arts. We learn to acknowledge it and shift it into. So I like to think about Dementors in that sense too. That's one of my podcast episodes, is all about how Dementors are the soul-sucking creatures in Harry Potter. And so we go over how to identify soul-sucking forces in your own life, and then cast your Patronus, which is your guardian against those dark forces and those Dementors. So what other classes are there? Anyway, there's a couple of examples, but like we essentially learned very similar things to Hogwarts.
And the Dementors that you've mentioned in your podcast, it's one of the first, or it is the first episode, right?
I think it's the second episode. We did an intro episode. Yeah, it's one of the first ones. Yeah. Yeah. That was our mental health episode. We jumped right into mental health with that.
April, I remember you mentioning that on one of our level 2 calls, and now I understand it more as you talk about it, and it gives me chills again. And I was like, Mark is fucking Dumbledore. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Is Adam like McGonagall or something like that? Or
Probably I'd go McGonagall. Dumbledore and McGonagall are for sure like they work together, like they're like she's headmistress, so like he's the headmaster, she's headmistress, so yeah, that's for sure.
Oh my God, Mark Dumbledore.
Yep. Yep. We went to Hogwarts.
I feel that now. Like, I completely feel what you're saying. I'm
Isn't
with
that cool?
you.
Thank you.
Yes, I am very excited. I am very excited.
I'll have to write out all of those classes and why, how they all coincide.
Please do, because I am feeling a Harry Potter movie binge over Christmas break at the moment, and I would love to have those notes and like play it through my mind as I watch every single.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What I'm about to say could be controversial. I have not read any Harry Potter books yet. And
Have you seen the movies?
what? No, only one or two.
That's okay.
And though you've inspired me through the conversations we've had and this particular one, that I have earlier today, put the whole box set of Harry Potter on my Amazon wish list. And now I'm even more inspired to actually get it.
Yes. Good.
It's going to be research. And now I'm excited to read it for the purpose of reading.
Yep. It's fun. It's so much fun.
They are such good books. I've read multiple ones multiple times. They are such good books.
About once a year, I re-listen to them on audiobook.
So good. They're so good.
It's fun. It's the imagination of it all, and it's the imagination of it all, and there, it's a teenage adventure story, so you get some fun in that too. So.
Well, our next question is, if you had a billboard, what would it say?
This was the question that I was nervous about, because I was thinking, I was like, what could it say? And as we were talking just now, I remembered I figured out what I wanted to say, and 3 words: the little things. I also have that tattoo.
So
what was that?
explain the little things.
Yes.
Yeah.
The little things it started off for me as a reminder to myself at my last semester of college, that if I can find one little thing every day that was good, then the day was still a good day. Even if the rest of my day was mediocre, maybe some shitty things happened, one thing that would make me smile, and the day is still good. And so that's why I got into college. And since then, it had, this has been the story of my life, the theme of my life. Like, this has showed up in so many more instances and circumstances that just continued to make sense. Like, it turned into, the little things can make or break you, right? And so the meaning started to expand, and we get to decide if we're going to let the little things make or break us. And continuing on, like, when you practice, it's all about, like, if we're talking about sustainability of health and habits and things like that, simple little things, every day will add up over the long term. And so these 3 words have turned out to be very much more expansive and important in my life than I originally thought they would be. This was just like a positive mindset reminder when I was in college, and it's expanded a whole lot. And so, I like and you can even, the reason I would want the billboard to say that is simply for the original reason that I got it. It's just like, pick one little thing, be grateful for it. It's a gratitude practice. It's as simple as that. Like, you can call it a prayer, you can call it, like I said, a gratitude practice, you can call it I don't know, well, you can call it whatever you want, but it's the simplest thing to do, and it's been very powerful for me.
It's beautiful.
I love that.
Thank you.
Mhm. So then our next question is, what do you do for play or fun?
I got a longboard this summer, which is a ton of fun. I am I just like to cruise on it. I don't know if I'll ever learn any tricks or anything, but I just like to cruise on it. I like to play with my pup. I like to frisbee. I like frisbee. I haven't played it in a long time though. Like I said, I like to play with movement as well. What else do I do to play? What else is around here? Baking is, yep, baking is also playing for sure. It's very experimental, and it's fun. And I've had few, knock on wood, like huge, like failures in baking. Like, things turn out pretty good. And oh yeah, I've made a bunch of, as far as play goes, I've made a bunch of fun shaped cakes for my friends. I did a Lego cake once. I did, which is pretty easy. I mean, they're squares, they're rectangles, but you can can put little details on them. And then I did I made my friend a Gryffindor cupcakes, and I made a little lion topper to go on it. And so I find like fun creativity within baking as well. So anything that gets my creative juices going.
That's awesome. That's fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have
It's like a practice, like how cool can you make it, right?
Yes.
You're constantly trying to outdo yourself, no one else.
Yeah, and learn new skills. Like I wanted to learn how to make a creme patisserie, creme pat, which it's like the filling that goes in donuts. So it goes in, yeah, you can put it in eclairs, you can put it in donuts. That creamy vanilla-y, it's like pudding. You can eat it like pudding. It's so good. Anyway, so I kept watching the Great British Baking Show. I was like, I gotta figure out how to make a creme pat. And it's really fun to make because the process, like it happens pretty quickly. So it's very much, I feel like a potions master as I'm making it. And yeah, there's a couple of other, what else do I want to make? It's really fun to make cakes and cupcakes. And although I don't make like big cakes, because then I have to eat it. So if I'm gonna make a big cake, I'm gonna take it somewhere, right? But yeah, I'll have to find another fun thing to try and make.
When you make your next cool thing, post a picture of it on Heart Connection so we can all see it.
Yeah, I will. I'll post some of the things that I've already done too.
Cool. Yeah.
Still doing hand lettering?
Yes, and sometimes, yes. Oh yeah, that was fun. I started to learn that too, and I was doing that. I like to do that on a whiteboard because it's really easy to erase. But yes, I do still do that from time to time. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you got some really nice designs with those. I like that.
Thank you. It was fun. That was really fun. Yeah, like I said, anything like artsy fartsy or creative or yeah.
That brings us to our last question that we have, which is, how can we celebrate you?
Get excited with me about the things that I'm excited about, which right now for me are the I'm excited about helping more people. I'm excited about getting in front of more people with this language stuff. I've been speaking it more often, which feels good. And so, I talk to people about what I'm doing, and I'm like, hey, I want to get in front of more people, and that feels good to say. And then also my podcast, like that's been a ton of fun to do. That has been such an interesting creative path for me this year. I started it early this year. Like started putting things together early this year, picked up some momentum during the first quarantine. And it's been very interesting, like I said, because I've got two co-hosts, two of my friends. And so like the creative process, like I originally went in and I was like, I've got this 10-year plan. I've got all these ideas. This is how I want it to be. And then there's a shift going from this is how I want it to be to this is our project now. And so that was a really interesting shift for me to make. We're trying to listen to what the podcast is telling us, what does the podcast need? What do we need to do next? And kind of listen that way. And then we also want to build a community with that too. So yeah, those are the things that I'm really excited about. So get excited with me.
You have a lot of growth, right? All the growth with the podcast and growing through that and with the two other people, and then the growth with getting in front of people and speaking it and stating, I want to be in front of more people, get me in front of people. Like, those are huge, April. Those are huge things to celebrate.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It reminds me of something that, I think Jungle said it when we were at the lake house.
Okay.
He made the comment that all the work you do this year sets you up for next year. Like everything you're experiencing this year is because of the work you put in last year. And I was like, that is an accurate statement. So just so you know, your 2021 is going to be rocking.
Oh, phenomenal.
Off the charts.
That's really good. I'm glad you brought that up. Awesome. Yeah. I'm excited for 2021 then.
You should be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So much fun. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, thanks for joining us and letting us celebrate and spotlight you. And
My pleasure.
Post some pictures of your creative genius that you've done with the delectable food for us to have our mouth water over.
If I could make them for you, I would.
We know.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. This was fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Great
Thank
idea, you two. Yeah. So
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Have a great night.
Thanks. You too. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
From Universal.
Ooh.
That you have to get the one that you can cast spells with throughout the park, because it has a little sensor.
Oh.
So I don't know if it still works. I got it at least 3 or 4 years ago, probably 4 years ago. But you do the spells throughout the park, exactly like the movie and the books.
So cool.